in today's video we will be looking if you can make a good roller coaster if it has 50 inversions in Planet Coaster 2. So we can choose out of a few roller coasters that of course needs inversions, and we are going to make 50 inversions, which is going to be a lot. And well, of course we're going to try and make it realistic. But what roller coaster should I choose? I think I'm just going to choose for like the Lounge LSM or like the Mac roller coaster. So let's select that, and I guess we will just place a station, I don't know, around here. It doesn't really matter since we have of course a lot of room, and I'm actually going to try and make this a realistic layout. Alright, so let's start off with a Lounge actually, since well, we need to start getting some speed on this roller coaster. And well, let's just do that in like an airtime hill, because why not? And then from this point we are probably just instantly going to go in our first inversions. We need to of course make 50 inversions, and right now it's actually not making the Lounge, so let's change the speed of that so it actually does make it. Okay, whoa, no, that's way too quick. Whoops. And now you're actually getting some very nice airtime. I will be smoothing the coaster throughout the whole building progress, since that is well going to take quite a long time. I have now of course made my own inversion, but Planet Coaster has actually a lot of pre-made inversions, and well, we can basically choose out of all of these. I will probably use a combination of well my own inversions and some that are well from in-game. Actually this looks pretty sick, and well that's just 2 inversions instantly after that. I have no idea what this is called, but it's called butterfly inversion. That actually looks really nice. I hope it actually makes it until the end. Oh yeah, that actually works really good. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm never the biggest fan of those pre-made inversions, since they are often quite rough, but this one actually well seems to be alright. Alright, we'll have a nice turn here, and then I guess we are going to go in another inversion, since why not? Not sure if that's realistic or at all, but it works. But with that inversion, that means we now have 5 inversions so far on this roller coaster. That means we still need to do 45 inversions. We are only 10% of the way. Okay, this is going to take a while, and I think I can actually fit a looping through this part here if I place it correctly. Now it's a little wrong. I don't know if I can. Oh, I can actually rotate it. Alright, I think if I place it like that, it actually should make it. Alright, well now we actually already have how many inversions? So we can actually check the inversion count. Well, in the test results, the coaster just has to make sure it makes all of it, which it does, and it doesn't show it. Oh, probably because it's not a full circuit, is it? Well then, well, I have to count. Well, we're now on 6 inversions. Yeah, some are, as you can see, shaped very weird, but once we're actually going to smooth it, it should become a lot better. So let me actually go through the whole layout for now and well smooth what we have so far and actually look at what we have. Okay, well I have now smoothed the roller coaster, and well so far this actually looks pretty realistic. Of course there are some weird inversions, but well I have to have 50 inversions, so there is going to be a few strange ones between them. But yeah, let's have a test and let's have a look at what we have so far. Let's do the front bumper, that looks so nice. Alright, well this is the first Lounge. We're probably going to have a lot more Lounges throughout this roller coaster, but well the first one is actually pretty smooth. Now we're going to use one that's actually well made in the game, so if this is rough, that's not my fault. This is just Planet Coaster 2. Alright, well we went through that pretty nice. Then we have this turn which we go through the loop, and that is actually really nice. Then we have a very close near miss. This one I shaped very weirdly, but actually pretty nice. Then we go under the brake run right there, under that inversion, and then we have this looping, which I have to say we go through very slow, but you do actually get some hang time in that. And well, that is the layout actually so far. Alright, well we don't have that much speed left. I can probably add a few more inversions, but then we're already having to go into the second Lounge. And well, let's have a look at how many Lounges we have at the end of this video. So after this, I actually probably want to just do like an airtime hill, because well I guess we haven't done that. And well, let me just look through some of the inversions that we still have, since there are so many. We can even do like a corkscrew. I think that's actually nice if you do like a corkscrew, not too big. That actually goes really good through that. Okay, that looks really nice. Oh, I can do this, but it might be a bit close, but no, I think that actually works. Why not? Okay, we basically don't have any speed left anymore at this point, so I think if we're just going to create a very simple turn to the right and then go well in our second Lounge, which by the looks of things I have a quite fun idea for what I can do with that. So I think if I line it up exactly through here, we can start with the second Lounge. Here we go, and this one is actually going to be a lot quicker than the first one. Not as long, but I actually want to go up a lot more. Now, I hope the game is going to let me do that. I'm not really sure how. Oh, I am getting somewhere. Okay, this might become a very strange version. Oh my god, it's going way faster than I was expecting. Okay, well, we have to go up higher. Okay, wait, I am now doing something with this top hat, or I'm not even sure if you can call this a top hat anymore, but I think this counts as like inversion. I'm not sure how many. Maybe it's 1 or maybe it's 2. That looks very strange. Let's at least see if it like makes it through it now. Okay, so here we go, launching up. You rotate. Ooh, it's actually still launching a little bit too quick. Okay, well, here it comes. I've changed the speed of the launch a little bit. Yeah, that actually seems so much better. That actually seems such a cool inversion. Oh my god. I would love to do something like that in real life. Alright, well, now that we have so much more speed, now we can actually use some of these inversions that are pre-made. I think just a very big looping is actually really cool. 36 meter, that is a ginormous looping. And after this, I probably wanted to use another inversion. Now, we got some very, well, weird ones that actually are going to go in the ground. But actually, I think this, how do I enable the ground thing? I'm not really sure, but I can make this actually a lot bigger. Probably around this size, and this is going to be, I just hate how it goes. But why is it doing that? Like, I don't want that. Do I have to place it like this then? No, why is this angle so steep? Okay, well, let's not use that here then. Oh my god. Okay, well, we already have that. What the heck? Okay, well, let's also not do that. Not really sure what the point of that is, or that. Right, and let's actually see if it goes through the looping quite nice. Oh, that is perfect. Okay, all of these elements are very, very weird. I'm also not sure why it's ending in the ground here. Ooh, I do kinda like this inversion. But we know that this barely made it, so this definitely has to be a little smaller, probably like that. Well, I know this is going to go in the ground, but well, actually, let me fix that. If I go to the terrain and just make that smaller, I should be able to just carve a big hole right here where the coaster goes through. And because I can even add like a water, as if it's like a splashdown, because why not? Like, all right, let me quickly smooth this roller coaster, then we'll continue building. Okay, let's have a look at what it now actually is doing after that small looping we built. So we have the first corkscrew here, in which the transitions, oh my god, we are going actually through that track. I need to fix that. All right, well, the corkscrews are kind of nice. I do actually like that they're next to each other. All right, and then we're going to go in the second launch, and I am very curious how this inversion feels. This actually looks really nice. This sort of reminds me for some reason of Hyperia, like the drop. And then we have this massive looping. All right, that actually seems to work pretty nice. Then we have this interesting, I think it's a bat wing if I'm correct. We have a little bit of a splashdown right here. And then, well, basically after this, of course, the layout, well, we're going to now explode. Okay, right now we are on 13 inversions, and well, we can already see how big this layout is. That means one thing, we're not on 50 inversions yet, so let's continue. And instead of showing you every single inversion I am making, I will just show you guys a few ones of, well, more of the spectacular inversions instead of just another looping or corkscrew. And I think I'm actually going to add a block break section here, so we can actually, well, run then more than one train on this roller coaster. And then I think if we go somewhat until this point, then we're actually then going to start our first launch of this roller coaster. All right, here we are. I'm not really sure how long, but as you can see, the coaster doesn't have that much speed left anymore. And I think I want to have this one again, like a very big one. This might actually, I think now we're going to go all the way to the highest point of the roller coaster. Now, what I'm doing right now, I'm not sure if that's really possible, but it looks cool. Well, this is by far the highest point so far of the roller coaster. Okay, now I don't know what I have created, but it looks cool. Okay, let's actually check if it makes it all the way up or if it's way too quick. Okay, oh no. Okay, no, that is definitely way too quick. Okay, I think I have finally figured out the speed. Yeah, this is pretty much good. I can probably lower it even one more kilometer per hour, but I think I'm pretty happy with it now. Then we are going to continue with the layout, and we have a lot of speed. So what can I do with so much speed? We are going to take some inspiration from Hyperia because, well, to be fair, that outer banked inversion and this part here is just so cool on Hyperia. So it's not going to be identical what I'm now doing. I don't know what I'm actually doing, but actually, to be fair, this looks pretty nice. And I know how many many of you that are watching love Hyperia, so I guess making some sort of inversion that is similar to that roller coaster is, I think, pretty nice. And I'm not really sure what else to do with so much speed on this roller coaster. I think what I can actually do, if I make this actually go straight, is go through the top hat with the next thing or whatever I am doing. I'm not really sure where I am going with this, but yeah, we of course still have a lot of speed, so we can probably actually like go through here and do something like this. Although I don't think we have enough speed for going that high. That will definitely have to be a little lower, more like this height. Yeah, that seems to be good. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing with all these inversions now, but we have to hit 50 inversions, and I think we have just maybe passed 25, so I think we're closing in on halfway. Also, it is going way too quick through that part. Let me guess, it's also going to go too quick through that. Yeah, okay, I might have to add like some brakes actually somewhere, which perfectly will fit here at the bottom of this hill. I think I have to do friction brake. No, magnetic brakes. There you go. That should decelerate the roller coaster a little bit. We are really becoming Hyperia, aren't we? So I think right here, a looping, since, well, we only have looping so far, can be really cool. And I kind of wanted it to go like through that. If I just place this a little better and just make that a little longer. Yes, there we go. And I think the left probably better if we make it this big, and we should have enough, more than enough speed for that. All right, what other big inversion can we do? Ooh, this one is actually really cool. We haven't done this, and we already have the hole here. Although I am scared it's going to go way too quick through that part. Also, why is this even possible? That I thought the track would like rotate, but you're just going to go inverted right there. That is deadly. Okay, well, let's not do that actually. Then, ooh, that actually seems to fit quite nice just around here. I like that. All right. And for the fun of it, I guess we're just going to add another block brake section, like right here, very close to the other one. I don't know why, but it works. Well, let's just make that longer again. And I don't know really about these statistics. I don't care too much. Yeah, where do we go now? Oh my god. There is a lot of track and inversions here. I don't know if there's actually like a limit on how big a coaster can be. This is a lot. All right, let me smooth out the roller coaster and then check out, well, the new part we have built so far. Yeah, this is definitely going to take a little bit. So far, it's been 45 minutes building this roller coaster. What am I doing? All right, here we go. We're going to go all the way up. This is actually the first time I'm seeing that in the POV, and I know that is not realistic at all, but it is a cool inversion. I hope the brakes here are actually braking enough. And okay, don't stall like Hyperia. No, we actually make it. That is nice. All right, well then we're going to go all the way up this inversion. Now we're going actually through this with quite a nice speed. Oh, we're actually rotating the other way around. I didn't even realize I did that. Then we go into, I don't know, like the third looping of this roller coaster, and there's probably going to be more after. Then you have this very overbank turn. I'm not even sure if that counts as an inversion. Same as this thing. I don't know what it is, but it looks cool. And then we have a quick turn to the left. I'm not even sure if there's more inversions coming. I think there are. Yes, we have this weird thing. I know some of the shaping isn't ideal, but at this point I don't think I care too much anymore. All right, well, we're making that. I hope we're actually going to make this inversion over the station, since, well, as you can see, we are going actually very, very slow. And then we go into the brakes with actually a really nice speed. I don't know how I'm doing that, but that actually, well, works pretty nice. And what I'm actually going to do is just quickly attach the coaster to the end, and then, well, we're going to test it and see how many inversions it has. There you go. I can just auto connect it. All right, let's do done. Let's put it on testing, and I'm just going to quickly let it run. While I'm actually doing that, let me actually change some of the colors, since I'm not the biggest fan of this. I actually think I want to go for some sort of orange. Yeah, I think this actually looks really cool. This is such a big roller coaster. Okay, let's go to the test results if I can find those. Yes, here we go. All right, now it has done a test roll. We are currently on 30 inversion. Well, yeah, I think we can agree on that. That means we need 20 more. And let me just build those very quickly in the form of a time lapse. Alright, and there we go. The roller coaster is now finished and there is so much track going around. And well, let's actually have a look if it's 50 inversions. I am actually quite happy with how this layout turned out. It is quite long, but we'll look at statistics after the POV. So well, let's have a look at how many inversions. Go count them if you want while you're doing the POV. Look at how many launches there are. So let's have a look at the POV. Wow, and that is the roller coaster. That is extremely long, and I have to say it's actually quite smooth. Of course, there are a few rough points, but those are mainly when I go from like building myself to the in-game inversions, which just I cannot do anything about that. You cannot smooth those transitions, sadly. This is a big roller coaster. But now, the big question, did we actually hit 50 inversions? So let's go to testing and to the results. And we have indeed hit 50 inversions on this roller coaster. Now, there are quite a lot of, well, statistics. The coaster takes over 300 seconds. It's over 5 kilometers long. That is actually a very, very long coaster. I think I also just made the longest coaster ever, I think. Yeah, and a lot more other statistics, but that is this roller coaster. Alright, well, that is the end of this video. I would suggest try this out for yourself. It's actually very fun, just using some of the inversions you normally wouldn't really build on a roller coaster. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe on my channel. And I will say, as always, goodbye.